I want to get to this one. Defence Minister Richard Marles has announced $100 million in fresh military aid for Ukraine during a visit to the city of Lviv.
This tranche is just the next tranche. We understand that this will be an enduring conflict, and we will be contributing more in the future because we are determined to stand side by side with Ukraine for as long as it takes for Ukraine to prevail.
Now, 50 million of the funds will go towards short-range air defence systems and 30 million to unmanned drones. The new package takes Australia's total support for Ukraine to more than $1 billion. Joe, do you think this will be enough to make it up to the Ukrainians after we refuse to give them our
old helicopters? Yeah, I don't know. I assume there were sound logistical and strategic reasons for not giving the old helicopters to Ukraine. I don't know if we'd be on the hook for the warranty if they fell out of the sky or something. But I think the most important thing about what Richard Marles said is that this is just another tranche in an ongoing support effort. $100 million in a big war like this, frankly, is not a huge amount of money, but it has been $1 billion. That's a solid amount of money. And the fact that it will be ongoing, I think this is one of those kind of nation-defining moments, if you like, where you really do sort of have to pick a side. And if Australia is not prepared and the West aren't prepared to help a country like Ukraine hold its own and fight off an aggressor who is so clearly in the wrong, then I don't know what the point of having NATO or the West or liberal democracy is. Quite frankly, I don't know why.
That's the question, Liz, something
right?
tells me you may have a different opinion.
I do have a very different opinion on this. Alert, alert, unpopular opinion. I don't think we should be sending a cent to Ukraine.
What?
I've said till I'm blue in the face, and I will continue to say it. This is not our war. This is NATO's war. It's in the name, North Atlantic Treaty Organisation. We have nothing to do with it. And if you look at the history of this, in 1990, Gorbachev was promised by NATO not an inch eastward. That is the line that we're all familiar with.
Yes,
and NATO then properly snaffled up Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and 7 other countries. Fast forward to 2007. Putin stood up at the Munich Security Conference and said, "Stop it. You have broken every promise that you made us. Stop it." Of course, they didn't. Then we had Crimea. Then we had the Minsk agreements. All of that kept going out the window because the CIA were building 12 spy bases on the Ukraine-Russia border, and they knew it. So then, 15th of December 2021, the Kremlin sends a draft US-Russia security agreement to the US in which they state in no uncertain terms, touch Ukraine, we pull the pin, we're going to war. The rest is history because the US wouldn't back down. Now,
You've left the part out where the Ukrainians themselves get to decide what they want to do. They get to decide if they want to join NATO or the EU or any other thing.
This part is very important. Remember, immediately after the war broke out, Zelensky has a come to Jesus moment and he says, okay, actually, we can go neutral. We can go neutral. Now, Naftali Bennett was involved in those negotiations. The Turkish got involved. They've got some of the best negotiators in the world. Who called off those negotiations? It was the US because they were gagging for a fight with Russia and they believed, well, we can win the war. It's going to be fine. We'll sanction this. We'll finance that. It'll be fine. Here we are 2 years later. And when I say this is NATO's war, I mean this is NATO's war. The destabilizing factor here has been the US. This is a needless war. It didn't have to happen.
Joe,
Putin warned.
How did the right